Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations. If you have not watched part one, you can go to Zara's channel and watch it and subscribe, leave a comment, do all the things. You can also watch it on Twitch because we did it live and you missed all the shenanigans.
All of them.
So many.
There were multiple shenanigans had, mostly by you. I'm sure.
What else is new?
There was. I thought that there was a rogue accusation of math in the chat as well. They were like, "You're
I
doing
know.
math here."
Did you guys know? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. Anyway, um,
You can't just leave it like that.
I didn't actually do the math. I tried to do the math on how many shards we got in total, and I didn't. I actually just said you got this many in tier one and this many in tier two, and I left it at that. I did not add the numbers together
Right? Why would you?
because math.
No, I was just like, no, you just have to trust us to do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's trust. Math is a religion. It takes faith,
you say
right?
so.
But I mean, that's what you're like. Oh yeah, it has math. I trust you.
Sure.
So
I'll just pretend it doesn't exist.
that's a religion too.
True. Ah, so, um, we are doing this podcast style because there's so much to talk about.
Hmm.
So, we talked about a bunch on your half. And we're gonna get to the stuff that you actually wanted to talk about, apparently. Um, so sorry
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, I had the idea a while ago. I was like, oh, we should talk about this. We've been plotting this one part for a while.
Hmm. Yeah. And then we didn't talk about it.
Yeah. So the Mandalore
Hmm. Bonus
sector
node.
bonus node. Where will it go? Here, well, I'll take us to the concept art, the
Yeah.
CG. It's hundreds, if not thousands, of years old. It's a very rare manuscript that we uncovered here, that we
Hmm.
unearthed, and
I
it's
unearthed.
the okay. Do you know I actually have it as well somewhere? I've
Because I
used
think
it
I've
before
sent it to you a bunch of times.
because I sent it to you originally.
No, you didn't.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, you interrupted me. I'm just playing off the thing you interrupted me to say. So
Carry on.
I can stop being interrupted now. Thank you. So, yeah. Anyways, this thing that Sarah thinks she did herself. This old concept art has
Bonus planets on it.
stuff on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it shows the nodes that are locked. In fact, here we can
Hmm.
zoom a little bit now.
Um,
Whoa,
y-
why does it keep selecting your face to enlarge? That's so awkward.
that's really disturbing.
Yeah.
Yikes.
All right,
Uh,
here we go.
I like this concept art because it has not changed. Like the map has stayed the same. The actual division between the light mixed and dark zones, you can see it really clear because it's got that line zigzagging up the map. Um
Hmm.
and you can actually see it in game as well, and it's the exact same path. So I feel like that means the bonus zones are going to be accurate based off what we see here.
Yeah, could be.
So, yeah, Mandalore though.
Yeah. So I think the thing that really stuck out to me though is it basically is just gonna have to be neutral because of
Yeah.
what they said. They said it's going to have oh maybe, but like they say that it's gonna have like the light side Mandalore characters
Hmm.
like Bo-Katan and Sabine, and
Right.
it's also going to have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon.
Right. So, I think as soon as you say that, like you have to put it in the neutral zone.
I think so. Or maybe I guess the one option, and like the way it's linked here doesn't it can't really do that, but like what maybe they could do, and this is concept art that's not final, so they could change it, but
Hmm.
they could also have it where Dark Trooper Moff Gideon unlocks it, and he unlocks a light side node or something, or maybe Bo-Katan unlocks it, but
Hmm.
it's a dark side node instead.
That seems weird.
Sure.
And I don't
Uh,
like. I don't know if I like that idea.
so if you look at it though,
Hmm.
the fourth node here, it like the unlock would be from Tatooine. If this concept art is to be believed, we'd have to
Hessel.
use Kessel, obviously. But what does Kessel have to? You're right. What does Kessel have? Well, no, but maybe I guess that like it's a sideways unlock. It's
Yeah.
just like at least with Zepho we had to move up one, which I mean that's mapped as well. I just um like Kessel also doesn't have anything to do with Mandalore, really.
Right. Right.
Like it's really. I'm not saying that it can't be that you unlock from Kessel. I'm just saying it's. I don't know. It's weird.
It
Not.
is weird.
But then the next planet up from there is Vandor,
Hmm.
which is where we get shower scene Chewie, and he like the other one that like that's the only other neutral that there
Hmm.
is that you can unlock it in fit like round whatever phase 6. And I don't know, it seems to me also that the vast majority, like, so Hoth Ski Patrol just got to Hoth last time,
Right.
and it's almost totally unseen footage. There's some, I think a couple guilds have gotten there before here, but like there's almost no guilds that can get to phase 6 planets.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Which is why I think it has to be in that phase 4, like lateral, putting it off of Vandor and then making it a phase 6 planet. Just I feel like that makes it really unattainable. And I also feel like that makes it like if I know that that's where it's gonna be, I'm now really not in a rush to get Bo because I know that we're not getting there anytime soon.
So, what planet do you think might be a good one to help you unlock? Like, what planet in theory would help you unlock the bonus node, like the Mandalore node? Like,
Like if it's in that fourth. I mean, this is also concept, right? So you could theoretically, they
right,
could make it so that it could go off of Tatooine instead and go to that same zone, the way like Zepho comes off of Braca.
right. So I'm opening the game right now.
Okay.
Why don't we go into the actual game? We can look at the planets that might have a link to it. Because honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of planets that the Mandalorian was on. I mean, I
Hmm.
guess Tatooine. Tatooine, he was on at least with Scion of Django,
Yeah.
right? Like in that show,
So,
and that would be pretty easy for them to remap it. It would
yeah,
just be another special mission on Tatooine because we already have the Riva one.
right. That is true. The other thing that I was thinking with the Relic 8 planet, like phase 4 being the unlock for it, was it kind of, in my sense, makes sense from a CG perspective of them wanting to like push your roster more because you need Relic 7 to unlock Bo anyway. And if they make it that you need Bo to unlock the Mandalore planet, it makes sense to make it a Relic 8 requirement because then they're like wanting you to push up a relic level and not just use your requirements that you already have because you got her
Mm.
unlocked. Do you know what I mean? Leaving them at Relic 7 that way.
No, I mean, I totally agree with that because yeah, it does makes sense because like everyone has. Well, I'm not saying everyone has everyone at Relic 7 already. That would be crazy, but I think they're already requiring a lot of things at Relic 7 at this
Hmm.
point, and Relic 8's kind of the push for most for a lot of guilds. Maybe not the most. I don't know, but And I know that some people are like, well, I can't access any of it, and I get that. That might be frustrating. I just, you know, I think Relic 8 would make a lot more sense than like, hey, you have to trek all the way up to the very top
Yeah.
to
I
get
think
here.
I think if they do that, they actually will turn a lot of the player base off from going after it instead of you putting it in the um phase 4 zone, whether it's off of Tatooine or off of Kessel. But I do think it is going to be in the mix zone. I can't see them putting it off of light side or dark side, to be honest.
Right.
And I don't see them moving the planets around so that they can rejig how the map would work so that you could make it go off of a different planet if they wanted to.
So here, why don't I pull up my Hosky Patrol
Okay.
map here, and we can just look at the planets and see if there's something that makes more sense.
Right, in the
So
first like few days or whatever.
yeah.
I
So
do like your
okay.
thought though of Tatooine because Mando was there
Yeah.
and Django, like you said, Silent Django.
Yeah, so there's also so there's this node. Okay, so Geonosis. I don't know what they have to do with
Hmm.
Geonosis, to be honest, but you could in theory have this node here of like right next to the Dathomir one.
Right.
You know that's one node that might be available.
Right.
I don't know, like looking at this with the bigger planets and the more I don't know, it just seems like it has to be this node here that comes from Tatooine or Kessel.
Yeah. Well, and you can see like in game those really bold, bright blue lines like
Right.
dividing the zones. So, yeah. I don't see how you get around that.
Hmm. I mean, they could remap it if they wanted to. I'm sure that's a possibility. But well, the other thing though is weird. It's like, okay, so if they do that, then when will they fill in
Hmm.
the seven one here next to Dathomir?
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the next one.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if we flip to the concept art real quick again,
Yep.
there's also a phase two. There's a P2 one in Lightside.
Yeah, there is.
Like when
That comes off of phase 1 planet.
right, but like when are they gonna? You know, this already has a lot of bonus stuff, but like when are they gonna release that? And for that matter, they have a phase two on the dark side as well. Like when are they gonna release these littler ones?
I guess it's all going to depend on what they are. We'll get the dark side phase 2 one when they let us beat the ship mission.
You're talking about the Geonosis one that no one even tries because it's
Yeah,
so stupid. Yeah,
so stupid. Uh,
that's. I think that's honestly like long term. That's probably going to be viewed as the biggest fail for Leviathan. Like people forget about bugs, they forget about that kind of thing. But what I think they're not going to forget about is the fact that Leviathan did nothing to at all to move the needle in territory battles.
I
Like
know.
nothing. It's just a worthless ship in territory battles. No one wins that one.
I never win with it.
You don't do it. You don't have a 7-star Leviathan, and up until now, neither did Professor X. So, gosh, dear Lord.
Ah, it's just so much fun. Um, okay, so like I know we're talking about like filling in those earlier zones, like those P2 bonus planets that we're seeing off of dark side and light side. I don't know what you would do there because I feel like with them starting with Baraka and like going off to Zepho, and now potentially having Mandalore be um in that like Relic 8 Phase 4 path. I feel like those planets, CG might think like there isn't enough of an ask unless it's new characters or whatever that ends up coming out for them to use as an unlock for them. But I feel like they might think like the toll price or whatever you want to call it wouldn't be high enough to justify even having bonus zones off of them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when they designed it, they probably said, look, we're probably not going to add bonus nodes to every single open space, but why don't we build in some of them?
Right.
And that'll give us options. Because CG didn't start this Rise of the Empire project with every single zone planned. I mean, I think that they were saying CG carry, and maybe they've changed the way they do it, their model a little bit, but I think she was saying that it's only practical to plan out about a year, and then it
Hmm.
gets really fuzzy after that because you just don't know what's going to be released, what's out there, what's going to be popular, what the needs of the company are going to be. Like, you just don't know what the projects are going to be. It's like, well, we really need to just pause everything and work on the infrastructure of this game, the foundation of it. Like that's what
Hmm.
happened a couple years ago. We hardly had any
Right.
releases, and it was like, man, this year was so boring compared to the rest of the release cadence that they have because
Hmm.
they just spent a ton of time working on stuff we couldn't see to make the game more stable.
Right. They were doing all that background, whatever interface work.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's a good point because also like you don't know how the community is going to react to new game modes or new characters or whatever that you throw at us. And you might want to repeat something if it goes off really well. So, but yeah, I do think like as of right now, I don't see Mandalore going in a different slot.
Yeah,
So,
I think that this is probably the zone. That probably, and maybe it'll be from Tatooine. Maybe it'll be from Kessel. Maybe it'll be from Vandor. It'll be backwards for some reason. Um, Hopefully not, but
that would be terrible. Um, okay, so this actually kind of this relates basically directly to a viewer question that Solo Han put in. Um, basically asking when do we think we will see Mandalore? And if we agree with it going in that zone, in that mixed zone we've been talking about, what do we think the appropriate reward would be for that planet? Like kind of like how Zepho gets you Kairos and then the star at the end of it.
um, uh, so why don't you answer at least some of that first?
No pressure.
No, I'm fine.
Um,
I'll do it. I'm trying to be civil here
that's
and
fair.
let
That's
you
fair.
let.
Valid. Um, so they did say they're still like working on what the requirements and stuff are going to be, which makes me think that they're not going to do it very quickly. I do feel like we'll probably see it sometime between the end of March and the end of April. Like I think we're going to see it decently quickly. Um, in terms of appropriate rewards, I don't know what I would consider appropriate rewards, to be honest. I just know that I don't want the same thing as Zepho. Like I not because I think the Zepho rewards are bad. I've actually done a 180 on that. Um,
Yes.
but um I just want variety. Like I want the like I feel like when you're getting these bonus planets, you have a really cool opportunity to just do different things with rewards. So I think it would be fun to have something different and maybe it's I don't know, Zeta Mats and Omicrons and get currency. Maybe it's 3 stars. Um, but yeah, I would like actually, I take that back. I would really like them to incorporate signal data into the reward somehow.
Yeah, signal data is the like that's them Like they have us by the balls on
I
signal data.
know. But if
But
you even just gave like a little bit of it, I think because it's such a choke point, it would be an incentive to go after that planet. Because every little bit of signal data helps.
it does. I've gone to the point where I just don't even wait when I'm in Conquest. When I
Yeah.
open the node, I just go in and I'm like, just in case I forget to buy this, and I just buy it instantly. Like I
Yep.
just buy the signal data. I'm like, this
I
this
do the
is
same
me
thing.
being desperate. Like I need this. I need it to survive. Don't
Yep.
get in between me and signal data.
I do the same thing though. So I feel like
Call me Karen.
it doesn't need it doesn't need to be like an obscene amount. I'm not asking for something that's going to break the economy, but I think if you put even a little bit there, it to me like that's going to be an incentive for me to get there as soon as possible because it's just such a choke point.
Sure.
So,
No, I mean I would that would be nice. I think the thing that we really need to like wrap our minds around. I mean, I think this is just something people have needed to wrap their minds around. Is every time CG like closes the door on something, they open another door. Like they just say like if they solve the signal data problem for us, we'll just migrate to another. Like
totally.
they'll have another. They'll find a way to make it so that we have another bottleneck. Like that's how they operate. That's how they have to operate. And honestly, it's so nice not to feel beholden to stun guns. Right now, we
Yeah.
just know it's been a long time since anyone has said, "Hey, I'm just stuck on stun guns." Like people don't say that anymore because they're easy to get now.
Hmm.
You know, like that they're just not. But that was the bottleneck for a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, There's one guy who's has Relic 9 on all his characters, by the way.
I know. That's wild. We were looking at that
Just
earlier.
just totally crazy. But back to people who don't spend every. I don't know. I'm not even. I'm sounding disparaging. I just it's crazy. Back to a little bit. Snap back to the reality. I think I think that I think that it's going to the rewards are. I think it's going to be another Mandalorian. Is what I think.
Ooh, okay, like an unlock.
I think it'll be another unlock because it'll be like we've had Riva for a while now, and I know that
Hmm.
not everyone has her unlocked, but a lot of guilds have. They're either well on their way to unlocking her or they're getting there. And right now, the dark side Mandalorian faction is really weird.
Okay.
It is totally just absolutely bizarre because they have so there's Maul
Hmm.
in the faction, which he's great with all those characters. Really, he does a good job with them. But he is explicitly the lifter unit for
Hmm.
Lord Vader. He's not supposed to go anywhere else. CG is like usually when they create these direct lines to characters, they don't like have wiggle room. They're not like, oh yeah, you could do either one.
Right.
Usually CG is like, no, like Trench very clearly lays claim to Watt. Like he's very obviously part of that team. He has like they made his whole kit based on using Watt with them. And I mean, and that actually leads into my other thing. Trench also lays claim to Django.
Right. Right. And which is pulling out of the Mandalorians.
Right, and so if you take those two out, then all you have are Gar Saxon, Imperial Super Commando, and Canderous,
Hmm.
which they're all like, okay, they're up for grabs. That's fine. But and then I guess you could, in theory, take Dark Trooper Moff Gideon and put him as one. Like he kind of counts as one, sort
Right.
of. But he's got his own faction. He's probably not going there.
Right.
So, like, what are you gonna do with the dark? Like the light side one, I think is fairly solved. That there's a ton of there's even a couple bonus Mandalorians that you can kind of
You can
move.
interchange.
Yeah, it's like, do I want to use Beskar Mando or do I want to use like Bo-Katan or Armor or there's options. Dark side doesn't have options. In my opinion, it's just in this really weird place where it's just chaos, and CG I don't think likes that chaos. I think they see it as an opportunity to define things, and so I think we could unlock some kind of dark side Mandalorian character there.
That's a fun idea. I hadn't thought about an unlock. I like that.
Well, the other part of it is they also just like basically said, well, every bonus node is going to be a little bit different. Like
Yeah.
sometimes there's going to be a star there, sometimes there's going to be other rewards, and I just think that I don't know, it's low hanging fruit. Plus, people have already moved on from gearing, like having a panic gear unlock thing for Riva. They like having people panic gearing on all angles.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, okay, everyone has Inquisition. What do we do now? Well, not everyone has like Mandalorians or whatever they would use to unlock.
Yeah. When do you think we would see the planet? Do you think it'll be like they'll drag it out or
So, okay, if I don't know, I think it's going to be potentially based on when they release Bo-Katan next. To like, so
yeah.
they released her in rapid succession, like an unlock in the first like 2 months or whatever. And
Hmm.
if they keep doing that, that's fine. If they don't, my guess is that it'll be released right around the same time that they open up that mission again.
Yeah. Okay.
Because otherwise, people will just be like, meh, not gonna unlock her.
This also like really highlights and explains why we were getting Bo so many times.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I was like, hey, I think she's gonna be important, guys. It seems like Inquisition.
Pay
Oh,
attention.
wait, she's important. What?
Uh, that'll be interesting.
So I would, and I think it could coincide with the well, what? Not to piss anyone off. Like maybe like the anniversary somewhere in May.
Like May the 4th.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the Star Wars Day. I guess I said anniversary. That's not. Yeah, but like May the 4th. It's I don't know. Seems
Yeah.
like the a time that they want to be unveiling something new and fancy.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
So maybe you get another Bo event between now and I don't know, April.
Yeah. Or maybe the next Bow event is in May.
I'm gonna be so annoyed if I have to wait that long.
I understand that completely. I really do. I'm just laughing because I commiserate because yeah, I I won't be ready before that anyways on Professor X, and my main account already has her, so I'm just laughing because yeah, that sucks. My littlest account has been ready for Jedi Cal for like months now,
That
and
that's a painful one too.
he's just not here, man. Where's Jedi Cal?
That is yeah. Which I will say, it feels kind of weird to me that they are shoving Bo down our throats. And it's potentially because of this planet coming. And we knew that Zepho was coming, and they didn't really do anything with the Jedi Cal cadence to change it.
Right.
So, yeah, it's fine, I guess. Not really.
I'm I'm so confused by their release cadence, and I think that's what they want. I think they want chaos so that people just can't predict it. I think they really don't want to be predictable because that is probably going to be the thing that makes people spend early.
Yeah. And which is it's a little bit annoying because I like looking at what they've done in the past so that I can kind of get a guess of what like the Jar Jar thing, looking at what they did with Cal last year and like trying to see how they might copy that sort of a release cadence. Um, so if you're not going to do that or be predictable, that makes that significantly more difficult.
It's rough, man.
So, um, I think that was everything that was in the road ahead though.
Why don't we real quick speculate on Queen Amidala
Oh
and
yes,
her buddies? Because I
her
think that
buddies.
that's probably worth a quick mention.
Um, so she's the conquest, the next conquest unlock. She has to be the next one because one, Meat had said it was going to be a light side, and two, she's going to be needed for the raid. So if she's not the next one, then she's not going to be unlocked until September, which is way too long.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it depends on when they release the new raid, but yeah.
I think that the new raid has to be July or August.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they said
Eight,
what did
eight
they
to
say?
nine.
They said the new raid is going to be in the summer. Did they
They,
say that? I forget what they said in the road ahead about when the raid is.
they said they anticipate summertime, but when they released the speeder bike raid, they said the speeder bike raid would have a shelf life of 8 to 9 months, and July to August would be 8 to 9 months.
Sure.
Um, so that's my justification for that. Um, okay, so she's Conquest. I was kind of thinking like if we were gonna get a GL from this era, that she would be the GL. Um, but I'm not annoyed that she's in Conquest. I feel like that's fine.
Yeah, I think so the other reason, like there's a lot of people who have been saying like, "Nah, we're not going to get the new node until like October or something." Like one of the things they said in the actual post was this will be a good start of 2024.
Right.
Like they very clearly were like drawing a line of like, okay, here's this release stuff, and then we have other things at least presumably planned for after this. Like this isn't going
Yeah.
to dominate the whole year. It's just going to be like a phase this year.
Right. And I think it's important to point that out because a lot of people have been saying like, oh, they didn't say anything about a capital ship or like anything else. And this really just gets us to summer.
Hmm.
Um, there's still obviously the whole back end of the year, but last year when we learned we were getting Leviathan, they didn't mention that until the April road ahead. So there's
Right.
still time,
Hmm.
obviously, for them to tell us what's coming in the back half of the year before we even get to summertime.
Easily.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get maybe we'll get a separatist droid commander or something for the ship. Maybe it'll be the first capital ship with two pilots.
Maybe we won't get a capital ship.
What's the name of the current best capital ship?
Profundity.
I know. So, um, I just said it to fulfill the
I,
prophecy.
I
Uh,
know.
um, no, okay. So who do you think
Uh,
the two marquees are going to be, or the two
um,
companions?
so I think that Padawan Kenobi makes sense. Which feels weird to me because I don't know. It just feels weird. Like we already have GL, like a GL Kenobi. Feels weird to get Padawan Kenobi.
So we can't get any other versions of Leia now. Like we're just stuck.
It just feels weird.
Okay.
It would be the first GL to do that.
Um. What it? No, no. Supreme Leader Kylo got Ben.
Okay, true. That's a weird scenario though. That's like whole other light side, dark side, different name. Come on,
Yeah. Just okay. Well, you know.
get out of here with your
Um.
logic. Um,
Right. Logic is way too close to math.
it's way too close. Um, I saw some people were saying like maybe we would get another Qui-Gon. I don't think it would be Qui-Gon. I feel like I would actually personally, if it's gonna go with Queen Amidala, I feel like Padawan uh Kenobi would make sense. I kind of would like to see a Senator Bail Organa.
That would be awesome.
Like I think
Uh,
that would be fun.
he's not part of Phantom Menace other than just a random reference
I know,
to
but I
it in
still
the
like
movie,
it.
but
But I
no, I
still
like it too. I would love to have him in the game. He would be a great addition to the game.
I don't know who else you would put with her. Like we're already getting Jar. I don't know. Do you get Kid Anakin?
I mean, we could. We already have Omega. Like
Yeah, that's true.
we could have a youngling squad. We could let people live their fantasy.
Stop. Slaughter the younglings.
I did
Uh,
what? Oh, No, I was just gonna say like have a squad of like young children. Like, what are you? Oh, that's awful. Could you think of that?
Um,
Oh, he stepped in it.
so
So,
I know. So maybe him. Obviously we're already getting Jar Jar. She's gonna have like in her kit, they said she's gonna have a decoy mechanic that's gonna
mhm.
basically be a permatant. So I don't think we would get her decoy Kira Knightley.
Her handmaiden, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Um.
yeah. So I don't know who
So
else.
okay, so Jedi, and so I think Kenobi makes some sense. He also might not, but I think they've been trying to straighten out the Qui Gon squad. It seems like,
Mm-hmm.
and so like the best version of Qui Gon in 5v5 is with Snips and General Kenobi. But
Mm-hmm.
then now we have Kelleran back, who clearly is like he goes well with that Qui Gon team. And if we took Qui Gon, and if we got baby Kenobi, Padawan Kenobi, he would
Mm-hmm.
have synergy directly with Qui Gon. I feel like,
Totally.
right? So you could do that. But then, of course, he's not a companion to Amidala. I think the ones that maybe you're overlooking though are people from her court. Like you could have Captain Panaka, for instance.
Okay. Right.
He's the captain of their guard, or
Mm-hmm.
you could have the pilot of her ship.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Rick O'Lee or something. You could have the senator guy who's like, the death tolls are catastrophic. You must contact me.
Yeah. Uh,
You could have death tolls guy. Yeah, like not that that guy's compelling by any stretch, but so something like that. You could have a handmaid. Like
yeah, that's true.
there's books where they really flesh out all of the handmaids
Mm-hmm.
actually. And there's even comic books now where they do some pretty crazy things. Like one of her old handmaids is like working with Darth Vader to do things. It's crazy.
Oh, geez.
It is madness, but
Um, okay, so I haven't seen the prequels in several years.
Senator, call me maybe.
But was Chancellor Palpatine in The Phantom Menace, or did he show up in the later prequels?
We could totally have Chancellor Palpatine. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
he's in
remember.
there.
Hmm.
Now you can see him gloating. He uses the Naboo thing to take power as Supreme Chancellor. Like he's just Senator
Right.
Palpatine. So we could have Senator Palpatine. That would be an interesting, like, could we have a light side for like he's pretend light side, but
Right.
that would be weird.
Because that's the interesting thing is they did say it would be two companions for her.
Yeah, I mean he's not a companion really. I don't
Right.
know. She doesn't. It's unclear. Like, what would our team look like? Like, would we just fold in Padme with it? Because Padme's kind of a loose end for them.
But yeah. But yeah, that's a weird. I don't know what you do there.
Yeah, you should go watch the prequels again sometime.
I know.
Gonna have to change that to my Twitch thing of
Make me
vote
watch the
make
prequels.
Sarah watch the prequels. Yeah, that seems it's a little. It's not. That's not that the prequels are just can't miss movies, but I mean, for a Star Wars fan, it seems important to know what's going on with them a little bit.
They're just not my favorite.
Well, yeah, I've seen them for several years. They might be your favorite.
They might be my favorite now. There. I should watch them again, especially because now we're going into all of this content, so that's valid. Maybe I'll do that on the weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't tell me you took a nap in the middle of it and count it as having seen it.
I can't make any promises.
You never have been able to.
Uh,
So no, I'm pretty interested to see what all where all this goes. I'm sure that there's going to be a few hidden things, and the new raid I hope is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be I don't want to say similar to the speeder bike raid because I don't want people to get scared that we're gonna have like a moving background kind of thing. It sounds like it'll be similar in the endless waves type of format. Um,
I mean, that's what
so
this is currently, anyways, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
it's just endless waves of speeder bikes till you get to the end to get your max score.
Yeah. I just mean that I don't want to say it's gonna be similar and people only think of the moving background in the speeder bike raid.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We're not going to get the pod racing, the pod raid
Hmm.
that we
I
wanted.
know. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. I really like, honestly, I genuinely do like episode one. Um, two is question mark. I like it more because my kids love the heck out of it. And because the sonic grenade things from Slave One are really cool sounding.
Hmm.
But episode one, in my mind, I like it better than any of the prequels.
Like it's your favorite of the prequels.
Yeah, and I really like that. There's so many things we could get. We could get the Queen's ship and have the first peaceful ship in the game. Like we have C-3PO runs away. Like
Oh, that would be
you know,
interesting.
we could have a that ship for that. We could have our dude could pilot it actually. Um, Not that
Uh,
you remember that scene, but he's there shielding things, and then there's also I really like the Naboo fighter as well.
right. Which I think is the ship like a lot of people have been asking for that ship.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a golden opportunity for them to release that, and I don't know who they'd have to be the pilot. I mean, they could have Padme. Padme actually pilots it at one point.
Um, do you think that we will get ships from Phantom Menace as well then? Because I feel like that would be a missed opportunity.
Yeah, there's not too many more ships other than those two, and then like the Jedi consular ship that's there for a minute before it gets destroyed. I'm trying to think, like, there's part of me that thinks maybe the next capital ship will be Newt Gunray on his donut ship. Because
A
that,
lot of people have said him on his donut ship.
yeah, it could be fun, I guess. I mean, the problem with that, of course, is no one is going to have, like, everyone already has a Relic 7 for Lord Vader. Well, everyone will eventually have him there for Lord Vader if they want to unlock Lord Vader. So,
Right.
so it seems like, I don't know. I don't know, maybe he has to be Relic 10 by then.
Ooh, don't say that.
Hmm.
I don't even want to think about that being an option.
You know what? I did you a favor and didn't say Relic 10 on for the Mandalore rewards potential.
You know what? You said Relic 10 for new, and my mind immediately went to Mandalore rewards.
Good.
So great. Thank you.
Everyone's trying to shut me up. I like what are they gonna do? Like the game's biggest spender in theory just got the last character to Relic 9. He has a fully Relic 9 roster that exists. What are they gonna just be like? Sorry, you can't advance your roster anymore.
He's just done.
It's over. He reached.
He's
He's like,
peaked.
oh, yeah, it's it's so crazy. Like the goal, like imagine, like when you run cross country races, there's like a golf cart that kind of like leads the way, and
Hmm.
the front runners are like following that so they don't get lost and stuff. A lot of time, I mean, it's on golf courses, but there's always some kind of vehicle that kind of leads the way.
Right.
And I always just wondered, what would they do if the front runner just like took a really crazy like burst of speed and just like sprinted and just like hopped on to the golf
Onto
cart?
the.
Yeah, but that's like the ultimate moving of goalposts to me. Of like, hey, this is the end. Like you're just like they continue to lead it. And what would you do if you finally got to the goalposts and they
That's
hadn't
a
been moved?
that's a good question.
Like, how would that even feel? Like, would you just feel satisfied? You're like, yes, I finally did it. Or would you feel kind of empty? You're like, there's nothing left to do.
I feel like I would just like go get a piece of cake and have a nap.
That doesn't sound bad. I might go do that.
Um, okay, I don't think there's anything else that we can possibly dissect in the road ahead, unless I'm missing something.
Nope. Let's hang it up.
That's it. Until
All
next
right.
week.
Until next week with more startling predictions and mathist comments by Sarah.
Anti-math?
Is mathist isn't something you could say?
It just I like anti-math better.